Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot and today we're going to cover my finished pages from November and December. And I just finished a page yesterday, December 31st, which I think is awesome. And I've actually got them this time in order that I did them for some strange reason. I don't know why. I was just organizing myself and did that. So we'll kind of go in order here. All right, first up is Cocktail Tropicale. Maybe this is a Carla Magana book. It's from her Cat Eyes and Cacti brand. All right, and we did, this was a page that I filmed alter this page thing. I think the only thing on there was the cat and the tiki and maybe these blobs and this thing here, this little antenna thing. I drew the rest on, and it is all alcohol marker with a little Posca paint pen for the white details, because it wouldn't show up any other way. So yeah, so there's that one. And up next, I was in a very Christmassy mood or wintry mood this season. I don't know why. I never have been before, but I was. A Million Christmas Cats by John Bigwood. Love this book. And I did the polar bear page. And when I showed this in my robot report, I couldn't understand why this cat had 6 arms and legs. Are the polar bears looking at him because he's a freak of nature? But then people explained to me that it's probably one cat on top of another cat. I'm like, oh, okay. I had a good time with this one. I used a variety of pencils, some Prismacolor, some Astropastelo, I think. I really gave my polychromos here on the cat a run for their money, but so they're beautiful, but so much layering, I lost patience with them quite early on. And I used Dragonfly Glaze on the snow, color pencil, and then Dragonfly Glaze. I really like how the snow, or that's ice, that's probably ice, turned out. I got to use my Art Philosophy watercolor paints, the glitter ones, for all the colorful snowflakes. And this is a collegiate watercolor paint, glittery stuff for the hill thing in the background there. I had a good time doing that one. I really enjoyed that one. That's what kind of sparked the whole kind of wintry vibe for me. And in November we did, this was a group buddy color with Carrie Kay, Colorful Pirate, and Colored by Maya. We all did this little horse page. I drastically altered it. These pages come with like lots of stuff, but I don't know, I wasn't feeling it on that day, so I covered it all up and did my own clouds and my own little grass and flowers and stuff like that for that. So it's mostly, there's just a little bit of alcohol marker here, but mostly this is acrylic paint, both just in the bottles and some pens, acrylic paint pens. So yes, thank you ladies for doing that buddy color with me. You can see all of their cool pages on their Instagram and various YouTube channels. And back to Christmas or wintry themed stuff again. This is A Million Sea Creatures by Lulu Mayo. And I chose this one because it was, you know, we have Santa cephalopod down there. He's so cute. With his little fish reindeer stuff going on there. I tried to make the background as festive as I could while still keeping it, Christmassy colored. I use a folk art color shift paint. I love those things. And I think I used Prismacolor and Brute Fooners. The Brute Fooners worked really well on this paper. I was liking that. And all kinds of paint pens. I drew little Santa hats on all the fish. The presents were already there, so I was just going with the theme. So I added little Santa hats on various fish. Yeah, had a good time with that one. That was fun. And also in November, we have Unseason related, Das Mangamania. I don't know who did this. Maybe Boonha. I don't know. I did the bee page in non-traditional bee colors. I thought he looked like a soldier. So I turned him into Killer Bee or General Bee, fresh from bee battle. There's some dark honey here, his little bee minions. I used everything. I threw the kitchen sink at this. We've got dragonfly glaze, we've got alcohol markers and water-based markers. I did all kinds of doodling on the wings. I didn't realize those were wings at first. I was making them into the background, and then I'm like, oh, that's his wings. I was having trouble seeing things in my coloring books. And since, this was probably dripping honey, but since he was fresh from bee battle, I made it blood. So I did Pixie's project. She did a blood and gore or slime or something video. I referenced that because it seemed super easy, so I did that. And then I splattered blood on there and called it a day. So very non-traditional colors, I think, for the bees. Maybe. Anyway, I had fun doing that one. All right, that was November. So for December, still in the Christmassy mood, I was actually going through my books for something. Oh, I was doing the How Many Owls thing. I was looking through all my stuff, and I saw this Cute Monsters. This is, again, a Pixie purchase. It's her fault. This is a cute book, and it had a nice wintry Christmas page, so I did one of the Cute Monsters here. This is, I don't know, Christmas Blues or something like that, I called it. This very sad-looking monster with his little horn there decorated for Christmas. I don't know why he's all sad. I tried to put sleet in the background. I don't really know anything about sleet, living in the desert, but I'm trying to make it all colorful. I'm not sure I pulled that off very well, but it is what it is. I do like the clouds. I went doodle crazy on the clouds. Clouds with silver linings. So yeah, again, another one with everything but the kitchen sink there. Lots of alcohol marker, lots of paint pen, Signo silver, various stuff. So yeah, this is a super cool book. Very cute. It's very simple, so, easy win there. And in my Japon book, I did the crane page. You're really far away. Okay, the crane page. And I was inspired by Colored by Maya to use my Arctic's acrylic ink markers. They say acrylic paint, but they're not really paint. They're more like acrylic ink. They're not completely opaque. But she uses them all over the place, so I was inspired to do that. So it's, I think just those water-based markers, the Arctic's paint markers, and probably Prismacolor. So yeah, I really like that one. I wasn't planning on doing this book. It just jumped off the shelf at me. There's a flip-through of this book on Grumble Bunny's channel, which she's the one who made me buy that. All right. And up next, something I've been wanting to do for ages and ages, probably since I started coloring. I finally just got around to it. But this is just basically a doodle page with black micron pen. So yeah, I just went crazy with just the black. And I added things, I took away things, filled things in. This is what it looks like. Some pages are, this was a less busy page than, say, that page. But I'm thinking about, now that I've done this in this book, it's the only one in this book, I'm thinking about maybe making this my black and white book where I just do all of them like this. That's a big undertaking, though. I don't know about that. But I did thoroughly enjoy it. It didn't take a long time. I think I was in a slump, and this got me out of the slump. So, yeah. And up next is Glittertastic here. You are far away, gosh. Okay. From Whimsical World by Coco Wyo. I went crazy again with so many things, just threw everything at this page. And I wasn't planning on doing this page either, but then it just leapt out at me. So I was planning on doing the horse is more of a monochromatic color, and I wasn't going to go this crazy, but once I just started doodling and adding things, I just kept at it. I just went crazy. So there is everything. I think there's a little bit of alcohol marker. There's Brute Fooner colored pencils, the square ones. There's water-based markers. There's lots and lots of acrylic paint markers, of course. The black background was already there. There's, I think, Signo gold and silver and white, probably, gel pens. And I just kept adding dots and details and lines. This was just an exercise in mark making, basically, for me. And I was thoroughly happy to just be content and do that. I think I did this over Christmas. Nope, it's done before Christmas. So, yeah, crazy. This is a cool book. Several people, when I posted a whip picture of it, several people asked me what book this was. This is a good book. So, okay. Oh, and my first from my coloring haul. I was in a slump after that, I think. I didn't color for a couple of days. The Christmas slump, probably. And so this actually got me out of the slump. This is my first color by number book, inspired by Kate's Coloring Haven. And I just turned to a random page and picked it because you don't know what you're going to get. And I think it's a buffalo. I'm not really sure. I'm going to say buffalo. But yeah, I just colored that. I think I colored it all in one day. I can't remember. 1 or 2 days. And yeah, it got me out of the slump and got me back to coloring. So if it gets me out of the slump, and it will be well worth the purchase. I don't know. We'll see. I bought this book because I really like these shapes. These shapes appeal to me greatly. So yeah. And in one of my books from my haul that I was very disappointed about, because it said it was like in excellent condition and there were no marred or colored pages, basically. It said there was no text or highlighting or anything on the pages. That's what it made it sound like. I got it, and the book had 9 pages colored in it, and water damage and stains. I've been trying to clean it up. I can't get rid of the water damage stain, but people gave me lots of ideas on how to maybe cover it or cut out the pages, which freaked me out a little bit. But somebody even offered to swap the book with me, although I'd already, that was Carrie K. Thank you, Carrie K. I'd already actually started trying to like fix them with just acrylic paint. And I did work on, this was all scribbled, so it took several layers of acrylic paint. This took longer than you would think for such a little thing. And then I also had to beef up the little border around the words to cover up their scribbles. I got most of it. And then another page, you can see where it's colored. On this page, it had like a light flesh tone. And I took my eraser, since it was light, I thought I'd try to erase it, and I erased it. I think it's pretty well gone. I don't think, you can still see like the indentions in the page. That's going to be difficult to cover with a colored pencil. Probably going to have to paint that, but I may try some more. I've also looked through here, and I'll do my altering pages ideas, I think. Maybe black out some areas and then just color some areas or something. But yeah, I've decided I'll keep it, and I will fix the pages. One person sent me this whole long reply or comment that said about how she got all these books from somebody, and somebody had colored in all of them, and she'd made it just her thing to like restore them and acrylic paint them, and she says it's one of her favorite hobbies. So that was kind of inspiring, so thank you for that. And up next is, another altered page. This was the gun, the Princess Leia gun that we altered. All that was on the page was a Princess Leia gun. It was very sleek, and I did a whole video where I inked it in. I added all the flowers, just so it could be flower power, basically. I kind of wanted it to be that 60s psychedelic look to it. This is both alcohol marker and acrylic paint markers. Mostly Ohuhu acrylic paint markers, because I love those things. And I think one Posca. Whatever I have the colors for. I try to use the Ohuhus first because they're older. And, you know, of course, want to use them before they dry out. Although they're 1.5 years and they're still going strong. Yeah, so that's all there is to that one. And my last page of the month, and there's a couple of whips I'll talk about, is Secret Garden. I had this for a long time. I've wanted to do a Buddha picture. And so I was looking for something where I could just maybe do the Buddha in silhouette. And so Secret Garden won, and I wanted to, get started on that one. And this is probably my favorite picture of the 2-month period. So what I did here, I wanted to experiment with a couple of things. So I drew the Buddha on, and the Buddha is kind of just an accident. He wasn't going to be like that. I actually made a stencil for him, and it was all together, but it was too, like, his legs were too long, and he was too short and squatty, and I was so frustrated because it was like the second stencil I did. And then I'm like, no, he's too short, too fat, too short for the space. And so I chopped him into bits, and I separated him to see how big I needed to make him, because I was going to, like, redraw him. And then I liked him all separated, so he's very abstracted, Buddha. So that is, this is weird paper too. I was trying to use my micron pens on this paper, but there's a resist something on this paper. And I'll show you what I mean by that. When you paint watercolor over it, it beads up on the surface like there's a slight plastic coating. Now, it will eventually sink in. The water will destroy that, but you can see how it will bead up. So I was doing some tests here. I really wanted to do this. I had this idea that I wanted to do the background in watercolor, and it's terrifying for me to do watercolor because usually when I do watercolor in coloring books, it's a disaster. However, this one worked out well. So just a wash, and then I kind of dabbed it up with a crunched up paper towel to give it some texture so you could see all the texture in the watercolor. Thus working with the watercolor instead of against the watercolor, like right there. The texture of the background watercolor is really cool. And then I had this vision that on top of that I would basically glaze it with water-based markers. And so I wanted it to go from like sky over here to kind of fade into like the night sky or the universe and kind of fade out and around and get lighter. And I think I pulled it off. So, and this was super easy because I'm I'm using painting and water-based markers. I'm trying to rest my wrist. I'll show you. I kind of blew out my wrist in another book there. I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, I like the way this came out. It was simple. It was easy. I think it's highly effective. It might make my top 10 for the finished pages of the year. We'll see. But I thoroughly enjoyed this whole process. That always helps when you enjoy the process. So it was fun and relatively quick and easy. Once I got the drawing out of the way, that was hard. So I just got this book, but I broke it in, had to do a picture in Secret Garden. All right, and so my whips that I want to show. This is a buddy color with Sherry Denowitz. Hers is done, and if I can, I don't know how to do it, but if I can, I'll put her picture over here. But this is my picture. It's not done yet, but after doing this sky area and this sky area, my wrist was kind of done. So it's got to rest for a few days. We got to do like acrylic paints and watercolor and markers and stuff that's easier to work with for my hand. But I like where it's going. And oh, these spaces are so tiny, so tiny. So I busted out my Crayola colored pencils. I don't get to use them that much, and they're really hard on the hand. When you want to get a nice fade or blend like this, I mean, it takes a lot of coats and a lot of back and forth, a lot of layering. And this one was even harder with the darker colors on this paper. So basically we're fading from super night into kind of a daylight thing that way. But I am enjoying it. I just keep picking a little section to focus on. So yeah, Sherry, check out Sherry Denowitz's on her Instagram channel. It's beautiful. And she says this is her second book for Entangled Landscapes. It's her second time around on the book. So go Sherry. All right, so hopefully I'll have that done in January soon. I can only work on it a little bit at a time, and then my wrist starts to hurt, so I have to put it away. So I went gangbusters for a while, and then, like I said, blew out the hand there. So I had to stop with coloring. And my other whip that continues, we did on my channel. It's how to do Christmas plaid. We answered questions, and I kind of painted the plaid in steps to kind of show you how I was doing it. I didn't really know how. I just kind of winged it and went for it. And since then, I have based my main focal point stuff in alcohol markers, which work great on this paper. They don't bleed as much as they do on the Amazon print papers. I just have to do, I've done the gold there. I really just have to fill in the details with colored pencil now. But again, since my wrist has been hurting, my hand hurting from the other thing, I'm taking a little break on that, so I'll finish that one also in July. It's not so much a Christmas page as a winter page, so it'll be okay. Not that I care when I color anything, but that has been my finished pages for November and December of 2022, and now we're in 2023. I want to wish everybody a very happy new year. I hope, all your hopes and dreams come true for this year, and I will see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.